So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to work your Sonos app, kind of get familiar with how to work it, how to get your speakers going, splitting zones, and everything that you need to know about Sonos. So we're going to go ahead and open the app. So I'm going to do a quick search for Sonos. There it is. So we'll open the app and you'll see from top to bottom you've got your system where you can see pretty much all your speakers. So in this case, you'll see living room 1 and 2 for me. These are just the speakers that I have. Now if you've got a patio, a pool house, bedroom, then all those speakers would show. So we'll go back here. Your profile's right here. So you'll see all your profile information. You can go in here, see messages. You can do all kind of account details, things like that. There's probably not much you'll do in here, so we'll go back out of that. And then you'll see a settings widget here. We'll come back to the settings, but for now, let's talk about this screen here. This is what's called the home screen. So within your home screen, you'll have any message that they want you to see. In this case, it's a privacy update that they have, but you'll see your services. So these are the services that I use. Now everybody's gonna have Sonos radio there because it's free, but you'll see right here I have YouTube Music. So I use YouTube Music. You may use Spotify, you may use Apple Music, you may use Amazon Music. I use YouTube Music, so that service is right there. Everything that I listen to carries over from my library, my music, any kind of favorites that I have. All that's going to carry over as long as I'm signed into YouTube Music through Sonos, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a little. So we'll go back, and so you'll be able to see here the little plus symbol. So your services is where you'll add any kind of music again that you're using. So if you're using Apple Music, we'll go ahead and hit the plus button, and there's a search bar here, and you can just type in Apple Music, and there it is. So you would click that, then you would do add to Sonos Music. It'll take you to another screen where you'll be able to add Sonos or add Apple Music into Sonos after you've logged in. And when you finally do log in, you'll go back, and if I had done it, it would be right here next to my YouTube Music. You would do the same thing for, let's say Spotify. You would add to Sonos, sign in. At that point, you'd be able to come into here with your app. So we'll scroll down now. You'll see some tips that they try to give you. You can add music to your favorites by hitting, add to your favorite, the little heart symbol, and then you'd have some favorites there. And then down here you'll see your sources. So if we've set up a Sonos for you, so for instance, a soundbar, that soundbar would be connected to your TV. And if you're ever wondering, okay, how do I get my TV audio back, playing versus, if I just been playing music, but now I want to listen to my music or my TV audio, what do I do? So you would it's supposed to work where when you play your TV audio, it'll automatically start, it'll switch back over. If it doesn't, then just scroll down to where I am now, where you see your sources. You hit TV, and then you'll notice here at the bottom in the gray, it changed to TV audio, SPDIF. So then at that point, it's switched to your TV audio. Alright, so while we're on the screen, we can go ahead and talk about this gray bar down here. So you see TV audio, SPDIF, you've got your volume control, and in the corner you'll see speaker, and you'll see the number 1 because right now we're only playing it on one speaker. If we take this little bar from the top and scroll up with it, well, now we can see 2 speakers. Again, if you've got a patio, a pool house, all your speakers are going to show on this screen, which is called your system. So within here, you can select another room to play the audio, and you can adjust the audio here. But you can also, while this screen is like here, where it's like a quarter of the screen down at the bottom, you click that little speaker icon with the 1, and you can check each speaker, each room, each zone that you would like the music to play from, and then you just hit apply. Now what happens is you'll see that living room 1 and 2 are both being sent audio, but you can also individually adjust the dials also. once you've decided, okay, I want to only play in one room instead of both, or all 4 or 5, however many rooms you have, just hit apply again. And now it kicks it back to just the one room, which you see at the bottom, living room. Again, that's going to be if you have multiple rooms. If you've only got one soundbar, then it's only going to show soundbar. If you've only got one speaker, it'll only show that one speaker. So we'll go to Sonos Radio. Sonos Radio is free. There's different playlists and things like that. You can't really skip. I think you can skip a few times. It's just like Spotify or iHeartRadio where you haven't paid for the subscription. Yeah, you can't just have unlimited skips. You kind of just play what they have for you, and but it's free and it works pretty well. I like Sonos Radio. I will go back. And again, from this screen, you can also see your speaker list by hitting your system, the little caret, the upside down caret. Click that, and you see your rooms there as well. Adjust your volume there and there. And again, biggest thing is when you're trying to switch to your TV, just make sure you just hit the TV icon at the bottom. So from the top, scroll down, and you'll see TV. Click that, it'll switch to your TV audio. You should see SPDIF, and you can adjust your volume. So for most of your speakers on Sonos, you're going to have an option to adjust sound quality, equalizer, bass, things like that. What we'll do is we'll hit the settings wheel. We're going to scroll down. Oops, and you'll see your speakers right there, living room, or in my case, and living room 2. You may have different speakers. For each one of these speakers, you just click. You can also change the name from here if you wanted to name it something else. You can add products to that. So for instance, if you wanted to add a subwoofer, I already have one added, but you could connect a second sub. You can set up surrounds right here. But for this example, we're going to just do the equalizer. So we'll go to EQ, which is right there. From here, you can adjust the bass up and down, treble up and down, and then loudness. Go back. You can adjust the sub audio as well. And then you can set a volume limit. So if you are, renting out your place, or someone's using your equipment for the weekend or whatever, you have a guest that you rent out your property to, and you don't want them disrupting, the neighbors. Well, you can always go into volume limit. You can set a volume limit so they won't be able to crank the volume as high as they might like. Then if you have a home theater, like a sound bar, you'll have options like speech enhancement. So if you struggle with what's being said over the bass, all the background noise, then you can toggle on the speech enhancement. So it'll turn down the background noise, all that bass, and it'll help you to hear what's being said. You can also toggle on night sound. So night sound is going to cut down the soundbar bass and the subwoofer bass. So, this is where people are sleeping in the next room. If you toggle that on, it'll automatically cut down that bass so there's no thumping and things like that for, any guests or anybody sleeping in the next room. TV autoplay. So this needs to be turned on whenever you are wanting to have that option to switch to the TV audio by default once the TV starts playing. So mine's not actually connected to a TV, so you'll see that it wants to toggle off because it's knowing that, hey, you don't even have a TV. But TV autoplay will be, again, if you ever have a instance where you're listening to music and then you switch to TV audio. Well, when you have this setting turned on, it knows to switch automatically. So if you like that setting, then you want to make sure to turn TV autoplay on. TV dialogue sync. So if you ever notice that your TV and what's being said through the soundbar don't match, you turn your TV dialogue sync on, and you can go up and down to match the words being said and the volume coming out of the speakers. Normally, this does what it's supposed to do, so you never really have to worry about this, but just in the case. Use IR. So if this is turned on, your remotes will be able to control your Sonos, so just have that set up. And then your remote control setup is just taking any remote and teaching it the codes to work your soundbar, whether it be the play bass, the play bar, the beam, the ray, or the arc. This is the mode that'll basically teach your remotes how to work your Sonos. Your status light, if you do not like, and some people are big on this, if you do not like lights on your technology while you sleep, you can always cut this off, and it won't indicate any kind of lights on the soundbar units or any speaker units, so that way there's no lights at night. You'd be surprised how many people actually don't like any kind of light, even if it's the smallest light, when they're sleeping. So touch controls, that's just on the actual units. There should be a plus or minus for volume, a play and a pause. If you don't want to use those on the units, you can cut this off, and you won't have to worry about accidentally pausing or having someone pause your music, turning it up and down if you don't want them to be able to control it on the actual unit. And everything would be controlled via remote or via this application. So that pretty much covers the Sonos app and everything that you can do to use it. There's some more advanced things here. You can set alarms, you can add groups, you have your music library here. But for the most part, in the network and things like that, for the most part, everything you'll use is everything that I've covered in this video. If you have any more questions, you can leave a comment under this video. You can reach out, go on the website through your member portal and submit a video request form just saying, hey, can you touch a little bit more on this? If you felt like I flew by some things and didn't really touch into detail anything that you might have questions on, leave those comments, fill out a form, and we'll get back to you and make sure that you understand how to use Sonos. Sonos is a very exciting system to have, one of the best, if not the best, on the market as far as what you can do with it and user friendliness. So yeah, we'll leave you with that. If you got any questions, again, just leave comments and we'll get back to you. Thank you. Have a good day.